Hello friends and welcome back. In last session we have learned about structs in Rust. In this session we are going to cover enums in Rust. So what is enums? Enums are the custom data type which allows you to define a type by enumerating its possible variants. Correct. Let's jump into the code and define certain enums and check how it works. So enums is useful when you have a fixed set of values that you know at compile time. Let's create our main function fn main and let define a enum ip address type. So we know what are the ip address types are we have at the compile time. So we can define v4 and v6, correct. Now let's define one common ip address type. So let kind of ip and define v4. So let's print it out. So it will not going to print, it will give some error because we are defining a new type and there are certain formats that are not implemented yet. So let's see what is the result. When we run it, it is saying that IP address type doesn't implement debug. So what we need to do, as provided in the hint, control C and let define a annotation over IP address type, right? So this will again give some warnings because we are not using v6, but let's see and run the program again and see if it returns the value. Yes, it is returning the value kind of IP address, kind of IP is v4. What else you can do? So suppose you want to hold some certain values. So how you will use them? You will use in the struct. So let's use in the struct IP address. Kind of IP address is enum type and address is string. Let address from 127.0.0.1 and then close this. So this is our home address. This we need to close and let's define one more type from v6 which is loopback. So this is how you can store the values in struct. We have already learned in last session, and you can print ln home IP is equal to this and loopback IP equals to this. So let's see if it works or we are able to hold the data using the IP address type, right? So let's run the program and see. The kind of IP is v4, home IP address is this, kind is v4, address is this, and loopback IP is this. So this is one way of doing it. Although what Rust provides, let's do not use the struct, comment it out, and let's see how we can hold the value inside this enum only. So what we can do, we can say this is type of string, this is also type of string. And when you are defining, then what you can say, string from, because v4, then string is 127.0.0.1 and close this, right? Let me define this home and print the values. Let create the loopback again as v6 and loopback, and let's print the values. So home IP address is this, loopback IP address is this, and let's run the program. If you are able to see, we are still able to hold the address and type is v4 and address is this because of this definition. So if we will define the data type, that which type of data it will store, you will be able to hold the value when you are defining from the enum like this. What else you can do? You can do something like I32 and I32 like this, like we do in tuples, right? And then how you can define it? You can define it like this. So it will hold integer tuples as a value when you will define this. Let's keep the v6 as a string only and let's run the program if it is getting compiled and working. So yes, it is getting compiled and home IP address is this, loop IP address is this. So rather than declaring the struct as I demonstrated over here, you can hold the values inside the enums itself, correct? So that is how you can define the enums. So we have created enum without defining a type and with defining the type, right? So we have created this I32. You can create according to your requirements. If it is IP address only, then might be U8. U8 is the better choice. U8, U8, and U8, correct? And let's run the program and it will work correctly. Okay. So now what else you can do? Like we have created a struct, and we have already seen that we can pass a struct into the function. Let's check if we can pass enums in the methods. Okay. So let me create function fn get IP address, and we are passing IP address type, and it will return a string. Okay. So what we need to pass? We need to pass this. So let's pass home into it and see how it works. So home IP address is get IP, and we are passing home into it, and let's run the program. So here what we are doing, we are passing an IP as enum, and based on the value of the enum, we are going to return the value. So let's run the program, and you can see that home IP address from function we are able to get this value, although we have defined as U8 and we are passing this value. But what we have done is we have formatted and concatenated the values into the string, and we have returned as a string to this function, so that we can print the loopback function also. In the same function, if we will pass loopback enum, then we will get the loopback IP from function is this. So this is how you can use enums into the function also, right? Like any other data type, you can pass enums as an argument. So we have learned about struct, we have learned about enums. So if we want to compare enums versus struct, then what is the difference? So in enum, a enum can define a type with multiple possible variants, although in struct defines a single type with named fields. Data per variant. Inside enum, each variant can hold different types of data. As we have already seen that this value can hold U8 and this value can hold string. So different type of data enum can hold, although in struct of specific types. Uses. So when you will use enum and when you will use struct, enum are great for representing state or options. On the other hand, struct great for grouping related data. Pattern matching with enum with match or if let, although on the same time in struct can also be pattern matched but less common. So if you want to do pattern matching, you must choose enums over struct, correct? So these are the few differences enum versus struct, right? And one more thing, what you need to remember, you can do the implementation for enums also, like we can do the implementations for struct, correct? So that is all about enums in Rust. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.